It was a mistake.
Where are you?
The phone slipped from Maya Lawson's hand the moment she saw the message bubble pop up over the preview of the image she'd just sent. Her heartbeat punched violently against her ribs, breath scattering in and out like broken glass. She scrambled for the phone, hands shaking so hard she almost dropped it again. "No, no, no. Please tell me I didn't just do that," she whispered, her voice cracking as she opened the thread. There it was, her photo, her private, fully vulnerable, not for anyone else image, sent to the wrong number, sent to a complete stranger, sent to a man whose name wasn't even saved in her phone. And before the panic fully bloomed in her chest, if you have ever had that one moment where your stomach drops and your whole life feels like it's collapsing over a single mistake. Make sure you like this video so you're here with Maya, and subscribe right now because what's about to happen next, she's going to need witnesses. Comment, "I'm here with Maya," to show her she's not alone. A vibration buzzed through her fingers, a new message. She swallowed hard, her mouth going dry as she tapped it open. Unknown number. "You sent this to the wrong man." Her legs nearly gave out. Another message arrived, this time a voice note. She stared at it, afraid to play it. Her finger hovered over the screen, trembling, her stomach folding into itself. She tapped it. A deep, calm, dangerously controlled male voice filled her tiny apartment. "But now that I've seen you, you owe me a conversation." Maya's entire body went cold. That voice didn't belong to a normal man. It carried too much authority, too much power, too much quiet danger. She replayed the voice note, hoping she misheard. But no, there was a confidence in the tone she had only heard in movies. A coldness like he wasn't used to being told no, like he wasn't used to being ignored. She checked the number again. Unknown, international code. Her blood ran colder. She Googled the country code with shaking fingers, praying it wasn't what she feared. The result popped up immediately. South Korea. Her heart dropped to the pit of her stomach. A second voice note arrived. This time, his tone was even calmer, too calm. "Don't ignore me, Maya Lawson," she gasped, stumbling back until her spine hit the wall. He knew her name? He knew her name without her saying anything? Her pulse roared in her ears. She pressed a hand to her chest, trying to force air into her lungs. "How did he—" "Who is this?" she whispered, overwhelmed. Her phone vibrated again. "If you want your mistake to stay between us, answer me." She squeezed her eyes shut, hating the burn behind them. She had dealt with stress, exhaustion, long hospital shifts, everything. But nothing prepared her for this. She typed quickly, "Maya, please delete the photo. It wasn't meant for you. I'm so sorry." She hit send, her heart hammering. A moment later, 3 dots appeared. He was typing. Then the message stopped, started again, stopped again. That alone terrified her. Her phone rang, a voice call from the unknown number. She shook her head violently. "No, no way." She hit decline. It rang again. Decline. Again. Decline. On the 4th call, it stopped ringing, but a text arrived. "I don't like being ignored." Her body stiffened. Then another. "I'll come find you myself." She let out a panicked breath. "Find me! Find me! Who is this man?" She rushed around her apartment, checking the windows even though she knew that was irrational. But fear didn't care about logic. It only cared about survival. Her phone buzzed again. A final message. "You work at the hospital on Briar Street. I want to see you tonight." Her blood turned to ice. He knew her workplace. She typed back with trembling fingers. "Maya, who are you?" The reply came instantly. "Lee Kairo." Her breath froze in her throat. She knew that name. Everyone did. Lee Kairo, rumored heir to a powerful Korean Mafia line. A man known in whispered conversations as someone you never crossed, never disrespected, and never, ever accidentally texted. Maya stared at the name, her heart beating so violently she felt it behind her teeth. She typed again. "Maya, please, Please just forget the picture. A long pause. Her heart pounded so loud she could barely hear her breath. Then the message came. I don't forget things that interest me. She shut her eyes, trying not to panic. But panic didn't care. It rose like a tidal wave, swallowing her whole. He was interested? In whom? Why? This couldn't be happening. Another message. Be ready. I'm sending someone to pick you up. She screamed at her phone. No, you're not. She typed, Maya. Do not send anyone. Leave me alone. I'm blocking this number. She blocked it. A moment later, her phone vibrated from a different, unknown number. Block me again, and I'll come myself. She covered her mouth, tears flooding her eyes. This is insane. This is insane. Before she could type a response, headlights flashed through her window blinds. She froze. Slowly, she stepped toward the window and peeked through. A black SUV sat quietly in front of her building, engine on, lights off, windows tinted pitch black. No, her voice trembled. No, 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 this cannot be happening. Her phone vibrated again. Come outside. Maya backed away from the window, shaking, her breath spiraling into shallow gasps. She grabbed her keys, thinking of running to the fire exit, but another message came. If you run, I'll follow. If you hide, I'll still find you. Her face broke. Why me? What does he want from me? It was just a stupid photo. She typed with shaking hands. Maya, please, I'm begging you. I'm not involved in anything criminal. I'm just a nurse. Leave me alone, he replied. If you're just a nurse, why does your photo still have me thinking about you? Her knees buckled. He wasn't just dangerous, he was fixated. A knock slammed against her door, 3 slow, heavy knocks. She jolted, heart leaping into her throat. Another message. Open the door, Maya. She dropped her phone. Oh, God. The knocking came again, slow, intentional, like whoever stood outside knew she was frozen in fear. Maya Lawson, a deep voice said through the door, not Cairo's, but another man's. Our boss wants to see you. Don't make this difficult. Her chest tightened. Her breath refused to move. She clutched the countertop, terrified. Outside, the SUV engine rumbled louder. The man knocked again. You don't have to be afraid, but you do have to open the door. Maya squeezed her eyes shut, whispering a single, broken plea. Someone help me. And then her phone buzzed one last time. Cairo himself. Maya, if you don't open that door in the next 5 seconds, I will come up there. Maya's entire body shook as she backed away from the door, her breath breaking in sharp, uneven bursts. She didn't know whether to scream, cry, or pass out. Her fingers dug into the wall for balance, legs trembling as the man outside began counting down. 5, he said, voice deep and calm, terrifyingly calm. Maya's heart stopped. 4. No, no, please, she whispered, voice hoarse. 3. She grabbed her phone off the floor, hands shaking so hard she could barely hold it. She typed with frantic fingers. Maya, please don't come up here, please. Almost instantly, Lee Kairo replied, then open the door. Her breath caught. She looked around desperately, thinking of anything to delay, stall, survive the moment. 2. She winced at the sound of that voice. He wasn't yelling, wasn't threatening. He spoke like a man stating facts. A man used to being obeyed. 1. Silence. Maya's heart slammed against her chest. She waited for the door to burst open, for heavy footsteps, for chaos. But nothing happened. She stared at the door, confused, trembling uncontrollably. Then her phone buzzed. Good, you're thinking. That means you're ready to listen. A choked breath escaped her. He was testing her, playing with her, studying her fear like it was something he enjoyed or needed. Another knock came, but this time gentler. The man outside spoke softly. Maya? He wants to talk. Just talk. Let us take you to him. If he planned to harm you, you would not be given a choice. Her breath hitched. That didn't comfort her. It terrified her more. She typed again, Maya. Why me? Why are you doing this? It was a mistake. The reply landed like a stone in her stomach. Mistakes reveal the truth about people, and I liked what your truth showed. Me. Tears blurred her vision. She pressed a hand to her face, trying to steady herself. The wall felt cold against her back. Her phone buzzed again. I promise you safety. Step outside. It wasn't the promise that frightened her. It was the certainty. The way he said it, like he controlled the very air she breathed. Maya, the man outside repeated. Please, don't make this harder. We don't want to force anything. That word, force, made her knees buckle. She slid down the wall, breath shaking. Her phone buzzed again, this time a voice message. Her thumb trembled as she pressed play. Cairo's voice filled her ears, calm, deep, disarmingly steady. Maya Lawson, I'm not asking to hurt you. I'm not asking to threaten you. I'm asking because I want to see the woman who sent that picture with such confidence and then apologized with such sincerity. You intrigued me, and I don't get intrigued easily. A trembling gasp escaped her. He continued, If you come willingly, I swear, on my name, you will not be harmed, not by me, not by anyone. The man outside knocked one more time. He doesn't swear easily. You should know what that means. And she did. Everyone did. Lee Kairo was rumored to be many things, cold, dangerous, unpredictable, but dishonorable was not one of them. He did not swear lightly. He did not break his word. Her fear warred violently with something else, something she couldn't name. Curiosity, desperation, the ache of being noticed, the pull of danger. She pressed a shaking hand to her chest. Just talk, she whispered. He said, just talk. Finally, with her heart thundering like a trapped bird, Maya reached for the door lock. Her fingers hovered. She hesitated, breath sharp. Then, slowly, she turned the lock. The latch clicked. The guards outside waited respectfully, stepping back a bit. Two tall men in sleek black suits stood in her hallway, broad-shouldered, imposing, but not aggressive. One nodded. Miss Lawson, thank you. The other extended a hand, not to touch her, but to guide her. If at any point you feel unsafe, he said quietly, tell me. I will stop everything. That unexpected gentleness nearly made her break down again. She swallowed the lump in her throat and nodded weakly. She stepped out. The hallway felt colder than her apartment. The guards walked alongside her, not too close, but close enough to make escape impossible. When she stepped outside the building, the black SUV looked even larger, darker, more ominous than from the window. The engine rumbled like a warning. They opened the back door. Maya hesitated. One guard said softly, "We will not touch you unless you ask for help." She drew a shaky breath and climbed in. The door shut with a heavy thump. Inside, the SUV smelled like leather and something sharp, expensive cologne lingering in the air. She sat rigidly, hands clenched in her lap. The windows were tinted so black she couldn't see a single thing outside. She felt trapped in a moving shadow. The SUV pulled away smoothly, too smoothly, like the driver had done this 1,000 times. Maya stared at her reflection in the dark window, her scared eyes, her trembling lips, her entire life spiraling in the span of 5 minutes. She whispered to herself, "What am I doing?" Her phone buzzed. It was him. "Good girl." Her breath hitched. A shiver ran down her spine, not from fear, but something else she didn't want to name. She typed back, "Maya, where are you taking me?" His reply was immediate, "Home." Her stomach flipped violently. Another message came, slower this time, almost softer. "I want to see your face when you talk to me." She squeezed the phone, breath trembling. The SUV turned sharply, entering a more upscale district. The streets became cleaner. The houses disappeared, replaced by tall, gleaming buildings. Then, a skyscraper, not just any skyscraper, one with mirrored black glass stretching into the clouds, guarded by men in suits who bowed as the SUV approached. Maya's breath caught. They pulled into a private underground elevator bay, security glass, steel doors, and silent guards everywhere. The door opened. "Miss Lawson," one guard said gently. "He's waiting upstairs." Her legs refused to move. She whispered, I can't do this." The guard's expression softened. "You'll be safe. He gave his word." Her heart hammered violently, but her feet somehow moved. She stepped out. One guard led her toward the elevator. Her reflection stared back at her in the polished steel doors, frightened, vulnerable, shaking. The elevator opened. The guard pressed the top floor, and as the doors closed, Maya realized this wasn't a meeting. This was the beginning of something she wasn't ready for. Her phone buzzed again. "When those doors open, I want you to look at me." The elevator ascended, smooth, silent, suffocating. Ding! The door slid open, and there he was. Lee Kairo stood at the center of a dark, glass-walled penthouse, hands in his pockets, eyes locked onto her like he'd been waiting his entire life for this moment. A slow, almost imperceptible smirk curved at the corner of his lips. "Maya Lawson," he said, voice low and dangerous. "Come here." The elevator doors didn't just open. They unfolded like the entrance to another world, spilling soft, cold light across Maya's shaking frame. She felt her breath tighten as her eyes slowly rose and landed on the man standing several feet away, framed by floor-to-ceiling glass and a city skyline glittering behind him. Lee Kairo didn't move at first. He simply watched her, studying her, like she was a secret he was trying to memorize. His presence filled the room effortlessly, dark, elegant, quiet in the most terrifying way. He didn't need weapons. He didn't need to shout. His silence carried more power than violence ever could. Maya could barely breathe. Her voice caught in her throat. I shouldn't be here." Cairo tilted his head slightly, his eyes narrowing with a quiet, unsettling curiosity. "Yet here you are." "I didn't come willingly," she whispered. A soft, dangerous chuckle escaped him. "You opened the door. That is willingness enough." The guard behind her bowed slightly and stepped back into the elevator, the doors sliding shut with a metallic whisper. Now, she was completely alone with him, her heart lodged painfully in her chest. Cairo took one slow, intentional step forward. "You're trembling." "Of course I'm trembling," she snapped, voice cracking. You're men. This entire night. None of this is normal." He gave no apology, no explanation, only stillness, only eyes that never left her. "Walk to me," he said softly. His tone wasn't loud, but it was a command wrapped in silk but sharpened with steel. She hated how her body reacted to it, how her legs moved even though fear screamed inside her. Her footsteps echoed across the vast penthouse floor, soft taps swallowed by the cold air between them. When she was halfway across, Cairo lifted a hand. "Stop!" She froze instantly, pulse hammering in her ears. His gaze drifted down her body once, not with lust, but with dangerous curiosity. "You're even more striking in person," she swallowed hard. "Please delete the photo." He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he walked around her, slow, calculating, like a man assessing something priceless and fragile. Her breath grew unsteady with every step he took behind her. "You regret sending it?" he asked quietly. "It wasn't meant for you," she whispered. "That is not what I asked." She closed her eyes. "Yes, I regret it." There was a pause, long enough for her heartbeat to count every second. Then, "You're lying." Her eyes shot open. "I'm not—" "You regret the consequences," he murmured, stepping into her line of vision again. "But not the act. The act required confidence, desire, vulnerability, and courage." Her chest tightened painfully. "You don't know anything about me." His gaze darkened. "Don't I?" He moved closer, close enough that she could smell the clean, sharp mix of cold air and expensive cologne. Her breath hitched. Her skin prickled. "You intrigue me, Maya Lawson," he said softly, "and I don't like being intrigued." "That's not my problem," she whispered. "Oh, but it is now." Her breath trembled as she took a step back, but he didn't follow. He simply watched, as though enjoying how every emotion played across her face. Her voice broke. "Why won't you leave me alone? Why are you doing this?" He studied her for several long seconds before answering, "Because the moment you apologized. I knew you weren't like the others." "I don't want to be like the others," she snapped. "You're not." The certainty in his voice stunned her. Cairo continued, "Most people chase me, fear me, worship me. You did none of that. You made a mistake, and instead of running or pretending, you apologized. You took responsibility. You showed sincerity." His gaze softened, not with warmth, but with focus. "I haven't seen sincerity in years." A cold shiver traveled up her spine. "That doesn't give you the right to drag me into your world." He stepped closer again. "Maybe not, but your photo did." Her throat tightened. "It was supposed to go to someone else." "I know," he said quietly. "I looked into him." Her blood froze. "You what?" "He is not worthy of you." Her breath shattered. "You don't decide that." "I do now." "No, you don't." Finally she snapped. She shoved his chest, not enough to move him, but enough to jolt him. Her eyes blazed with fury and fear. "You can't do this. I'm not one of your employees or your girls or whatever you think I am. I don't belong in your world." A flicker of something unreadable crossed Cairo's eyes. Then everything changed. A sudden, sharp buzz came from a security panel on the wall. Cairo's expression hardened instantly. His jaw tightened. His posture shifted from intrigued to alert. Maya's heart jumped. "What is it?" He didn't answer. He walked to the panel, pressed a button, and a low voice crackled through the speaker. "Sir," the guard said, breathless, "we have a problem." Cairo's eyes narrowed. "Speak." "It's Han Ryu." Maya felt the air in the room drop 10 degrees. Cairo's voice sharpened. "What about him?" "He's been tracking the car we used to pick up the girl." Cairo's eyes flicked to Maya. A chill shot through her immediately. "Why is someone tracking me?" The guard's voice came again, tense. "Sir, he's demanding to know why she was brought here." Cairo's face darkened with a slow, controlled rage, cold, terrifying, quiet. He whispered, "Han Ryu is sniffing around because of you." Maya's heart slammed painfully. "Because of me? What did I do?" Cairo turned to her, gaze piercing. "You walked into my life. That is enough reason for him." She shook her head quickly. No, I don't want any trouble. I want to go home. Please just let me go." Cairo's jaw flexed. "You can't go home." "Why not?" "Because Han Ryu will go there first." Her breath stopped. He walked toward her slowly, each step deliberate, controlled, lethal. "And I will not let him touch you." Maya backed up until her spine hit the glass wall, the city lights swallowing her reflection. "Cairo, please," she whispered. He reached her, placing one hand near her head, not touching her, but caging her in. His voice dropped to a low murmur, heavy with intent. "I didn't plan for this night. I didn't plan for you." His gaze swept her face with unnerving focus. "But now that you're here, I will not lose you." Her breath trembled. "I'm not yours." "Not yet," he whispered. A violent explosion sounded from the speaker. "Sir, Han Ryu's men just breached the lobby." Cairo stiffened. Maya's heart lurched. "What does that mean?" "It means," he whispered, his eyes cold as winter, "the war just came to my doorstep." For a moment Maya forgot how to breathe. The guard's panicked voice, the thundering crash echoing faintly from somewhere below, the cold shift in Cairo's expression, it all blended into a suffocating wave of fear. But Cairo didn't waste a single second. "Maya," he said sharply, "stay behind me." She didn't move. Couldn't move. He grabbed her wrist, not harshly but firmly enough to snap her out of her frozen panic, and pulled her toward a reinforced glass wall panel disguised as part of the penthouse design. With a press of his palm against a hidden sensor, the panel slid open to reveal a narrow, dimly lit corridor. "Inside," he ordered, his voice low and controlled. Fear surged through Maya Lawson's chest. "Where does this lead?" "A secure room. Go." She stumbled into the corridor, heart thundering, but when she turned back, she saw Cairo wasn't following. "Cairo, aren't you coming?" He shook his head once. "I have to stop him before he gets any closer." "What? You can't go alone. You said this man is dangerous." "And you think I'm not?" His eyes cut into hers, a dark flame burning behind them. "Han Ryu is after you because he knows it will get to me. If I hide, he wins. If I confront him, he learns his mistake." The elevator alarm shrieked through the penthouse. Cairo stiffened. Maya's eyes widened with raw fear. "Please, please don't leave me here alone." He grabbed her chin gently, forcing her eyes to meet his. "Listen to me. Nothing, and no one, will touch you, not while I'm breathing." Her breath hitched at the intensity in his voice. Then, softer. "This started because of a mistake, Maya, but protecting you is not a mistake." Her chest tightened painfully with something she couldn't name. Suddenly, a gunshot cracked from the elevator shaft below. Maya flinched violently. Cairo seized her shoulders. "Go! Now!" She stumbled backward into the corridor as he pressed the panel. The door slid shut, locking her inside a narrow passage with faint overhead lights. Her palms pressed against the cold walls as she tried to steady her breathing. Outside, muffled chaos erupted. Shouts, footsteps, a crash of breaking glass, a grunt of pain. Then, "Cairo!" a voice roared. Deep, mocking, sadistic. "Han Ryu." Another crash. Maya flinched, pressing her hands to her ears. Oh God, what do I do?" The corridor led to a small room with bulletproof walls and a single surveillance monitor. When she saw the screen, she froze. Cairo and Han Ryu were already facing each other in the middle of the penthouse. Han Ryu's smirk was chilling. "You really brought a random woman into your home? What happened to you, huh?" Cairo didn't answer. Han Ryu laughed. "Ah, I see now. You actually care." Cairo moved so fast the camera could barely follow. He slammed Han Ryu against a glass column, but Han twisted, slipping out of the grip, and landed a punch to Cairo's ribs. The blow looked brutal. Maya covered her mouth, tears blurring her vision. "Please stop. Please stop." Another guard was thrown across the floor. A lamp shattered. The penthouse turned into a battleground of shadows, broken glass catching the city lights like tiny knives. Hanryu's voice carried through the mic, dripping with venom. All this chaos just because she sent a photo to the wrong number? Maya's heart dropped through the floor. Hanryu laughed again, cruel and delighted. "I just wanted to see the woman who made the Ice King melt." Cairo struck him so hard he flew into the marble counter. Blood sprayed across the surface. Maya gasped, backing away from the screen. Han wiped the blood from his mouth, his smile unshaken. "Look at you," he taunted, "risking everything over some nurse?" Maya felt her throat tighten. This was her fault. She never should have sent that picture. She never should have answered Cairo's messages. She never should have opened the door. A loud crash pulled her attention back to the screen. Han Ryu had grabbed a shard of glass and slashed at Cairo's shoulder. Cairo hissed, staggering back briefly. "Cairo!" The name ripped out of her throat, even though he couldn't hear her. Han Ryu's voice oozed malice. "She's going to break you, and you know it." Cairo wiped blood from his lip with a slow, furious smile. "Touch her," he whispered, "and I will end you." Han lunged again, and the two disappeared behind a smashed partition. Maya's body shook uncontrollably. This was insane. She wasn't prepared for this. She couldn't handle this. She collapsed into the nearest corner, hugging her knees, begging for everything to stop. Then, silence. A heavy, tense silence. Her breath froze. "Cairo," she whispered, voice cracking. Footsteps echoed through the penthouse. Slow, intentional, heavy. Someone was approaching the secret corridor entrance. Maya scrambled to her feet, back pressed against the far wall. "No, no, please not him, please not him." A bang slammed against the corridor panel. She gasped. Bang. Another. The lock trembled. "Cairo?" she whispered, trembling. Bang. A voice seeped through the seam, darky and mocking. "Open up, sweetheart." Her blood turned to ice. Han Ryu. "No, please, no." She stumbled backward, hands shaking uncontrollably. Bang. The panel dented inward. Bang. The lock groaned. Bang. It ripped halfway off the hinges. Then, silence. Maya held her breath, tears slipping down her cheeks. Slowly, the panel creaked open. A shadow stepped inside. Her heart dropped, then surged. Because it wasn't Han Ryu. Cairo staggered into the corridor, bleeding, bruised, breathing hard, but standing. And the look in his eyes wasn't cold anymore. It was feral. "Maya," he rasped, reaching for her. "We have to go." She rushed into his arms before she realized what she was doing. For the first time, she felt the warmth of his chest, the tremble in his breath, the wild pounding of his heart. She wasn't the only one who'd been scared. I thought he—" Her voice broke. "He didn't," Cairo murmured hoarsely, pulling her closer. "He won't. Ever." She felt him inhale shakily against her hair, his hand gripping her back with something that felt dangerously close to desperation. Then he pulled away and cupped her face. "Maya," he whispered, "this isn't safe anymore. Not for you. Not for us." Her breath trembled. "Then what do we do?" His jaw clenched. "We run." Cairo didn't wait for her reply. His hand slipped down to her wrist, gripping tightly, not painfully, but with a sense of urgency that made Maya's pulse race. Every breath he took was sharp, controlled, threaded with pain from the wounds on his side. Blood stained the collar of his shirt, spreading across the fabric like a dark warning. "We're not safe here," he murmured. "Han Ryu's men are already in the building. The penthouse is compromised." Her heart hammered. "Where are we going?" "A safer location," he said quickly. "Somewhere he won't think to look." "Cairo, you're bleeding." "I know. You need help." "I know." "And you're still thinking about leaving." "I know, Maya." His voice crashed through her panic like thunder. "But if we stay, he will find us, and I will not let him touch you." A violent crash echoed somewhere in the penthouse. The sound of furniture breaking, men shouting, another gunshot. Maya flinched hard, her fingers instinctively curling against Cairo's chest. She could feel the tension beneath his skin, the rigid coil of a man who was equal parts fury and fear. "Cairo," she breathed, "we have to move." He nodded once and pulled her out into the corridor, moving with painful but determined steps. The elevator was dead, lights shattered, buttons ripped out. Cairo led her to a side stairwell, pushing open the door with his shoulder. The metal groaned under the impact, and he hissed softly at the pain. They bounded down the stairs, Cairo stumbling once, catching himself with a quiet curse. Maya grabbed his arm, trying to steady him. "You're hurt," she whispered. "Later," he growled. "I'll deal with it later." The stairwell lights flickered, casting long, jagged shadows down the concrete walls. Every step echoed. Every breath felt too loud, too exposed. When they reached the 40th floor landing, Cairo stopped abruptly, pressing her back against the wall. His breath brushed her cheek, warm and uneven. He listened, head turned slightly, jaw tight, eyes dark with calculation. Voices drifted from above and below. Han Ryu's men sweeping the stairwell. "We're boxed in," Maya whispered. "No," Cairo murmured, tone sharpening. "We're not." He pulled her through a utility door onto a dim, mechanical floor filled with pipes, generators, and metal crates. The air was warm and smelled like oil. Far across the room was a freight elevator. "That's our way out," he said. They crossed the floor quickly, their footsteps muffled by the heavy machinery. But halfway through, Maya heard the door swing open behind them. Han Ryu's voice spilled into the room like poison. Cairo, why are you running? I just want to talk." Cairo froze for a split second, just long enough for Maya to feel the tremble of tension run through him. "Keep moving," he whispered. She did. But Han Ryu kept talking, footsteps echoing across the metal floor. "You're acting reckless," he mocked. "All over some girl who sent you a photo." Maya's stomach twisted painfully. Han continued, voice dripping with amusement. "Let me guess. She made you feel something? That's rare for you." Cairo didn't turn around. He pressed the call button for the freight elevator. It didn't respond. He pressed again. Still nothing. Maya's pulse spiked. "Cairo, what if it doesn't work?" "It'll work," he said. But she heard the doubt in his voice. Han's footsteps grew louder, closer, confident. "You can't hide her forever," he taunted. "And you can't protect her from me." Cairo spun suddenly, placing himself in front of Maya, shielding her completely. His body trembled from pain, but his eyes were ice. "Stay behind me," he whispered. Maya clutched the back of his shirt, her breath shaking. Han's silhouette appeared between the pipes, tall, sharp, smiling with a predator's confidence. "There he is," Han said softly. "The infamous Cairo, bleeding, wounded, cornered over a woman." His gaze shifted past Cairo, landing on Maya, and his smile widened. "So this is her." Maya's breath broke, but Cairo stepped further in front of her, blocking his view. "You don't get to look at her," Cairo growled. Han raised an eyebrow. "Or what? You'll kill me? In your condition?" Cairo's hand slipped behind him, brushing Maya's fingers, calming her, grounding her, promising silently that he wouldn't let go. The freight elevator dinged. Han's eyes flicked toward it, annoyed. Cairo didn't hesitate. He grabbed Maya's wrist and yanked her inside the elevator. Han lunged, but the doors slid shut before he reached them. Cairo slammed the button for the basement level. The elevator dropped violently, too fast, too heavy, making Maya stumble into him. He caught her with his good arm, steadying her against his chest. "You're safe," he whispered, though his voice trembled with exhaustion. "I've got you." But Maya knew that safety was temporary. His shirt was soaked with blood. His breath came uneven. His entire body trembled from exertion and pain. "Cairo," she whispered, "you need a hospital." "No hospitals," he snapped quietly. "Too many eyes." "Then what? Where are we going?" He leaned his head back against the elevator wall, chest rising and falling with ragged breaths. "To somewhere only I know," he murmured. "A place Han Ryu will never find." The elevator shook as it descended, making the lights flicker. Maya grabbed his hand, squeezing it. "Cairo." His eyes opened slowly, meeting hers. Something raw flickered inside them, something vulnerable, unguarded. "You don't understand," he said quietly. "I didn't ask for this, I didn't want this. But now that you're in my life, Maya." His hand tightened weakly around hers. "I can't lose you." Her breath caught. "You won't." But neither of them believed it. The elevator reached the basement, and the doors opened to a dim underground parking level with a single black car waiting, the engine already running, as if someone had anticipated their escape. Cairo staggered out, gripping the wall for balance. Maya rushed to his side. "Lean on me, please." He did. Together they reached the car. Cairo slid into the back seat, collapsing against the leather with a pained groan. Maya followed him in, slamming the door shut. The driver, a silent man in black, sped forward without waiting. Maya pressed a trembling hand to Cairo's wound, trying to steady the bleeding. "Cairo, stay awake," she pleaded. "Please stay awake." His eyes fluttered. "Maya," he breathed. "Don't let go." "I'm right here," she whispered, her voice breaking. The car shot through the underground tunnel, darkness swallowing them whole. Cairo's breathing grew shallow. Maya held him tightly, tears slipping down her cheeks as the city lights faded behind them. "Cairo," she whispered, "you promised. You said you wouldn't let anything happen to me." His lips moved, barely. "I keep my promises." His head fell against her shoulder. "Cairo! Cairo! Cairo!" The driver's voice cut through sharply. "Miss Lawson, hold on." The car accelerated. The tunnel curved sharply. And then, far behind them, a second set of headlights appeared. Someone was following. The driver's voice tightened. "It's them." Maya's heart shattered. "No, please, please, no!" The chasing headlights surged closer. "Cairo," she whispered desperately, clutching him. "Wake up. Please wake up." But he didn't move, and the car behind them kept coming, faster and faster and faster. The driver's knuckles turned white on the steering wheel. "Miss Lawson, prepare yourself." Maya looked down at Cairo's unconscious face, tears spilling onto his skin. Her voice trembled with terror. "What's happening?" The driver whispered. "The war has already begun." If this video left you breathless, hit like and subscribe. The chase isn't over, and neither is their story. Turn on the bell so you don't miss the next twist.